So I've been playing around with this Math Whiteboard tool at mathwhiteboard.com, and it's really cool. So I'm just going to show you some of the basics in this video. So it says it's the first collaborative whiteboard designed for mathematics teaching and learning. So it is a whiteboard that you can share with others. And so I'm going to create one and show you some of the things that you can do in it. Now, when you create a new whiteboard, you'll have to click New Whiteboard up here at the top, and then it will give you a bunch of instructions that I'm going to go ahead and close out because I've already been through them. But you can see it looks a lot like Google Slides. I can add new slides to my whiteboard over here, and then you can share out this link with others so that they can also write on the same whiteboard as you. So let's go through these tools. So Math Write is exactly what it sounds like. I can write on my whiteboard and it is going to interpret the mathematics inside of what I write. So I've been using this for writing out equations, and I'll show you why that's really cool. So I'm going to write out with my mouse. So yes, it's a little weird looking as I do this, but I'm going to write out y equals 3x plus 2. Now, it's usually pretty good at picking out what you write, but if ever there's a question mark in here, it didn't recognize something, there are a couple of ways you can fix that. You can go up here to this erase tool. Let's say it hadn't picked up my plus. I can erase my plus, and then I can go back in and add it again. Or if you don't want to have to keep clicking back and forth between tools, you can actually just scribble it out and write it back in. And I'm here, oh, no, it still picked it up, good. All right. The character recognition on this is pretty darn good, I gotta say. Now, one of the things I think is super cool about this is now that I have my equation, I can instantly graph it just by starting my mouse somewhere near the middle of my yellow box. They say do it near the equal sign, but I find anywhere in the middle tends to work. And then just draw a swoop to where you want your graph, and it will instantly graph it. Now, I can also click on Table to see a table of values for my equation. All right, so that is some basics of Math Write. Now let's do Math Type. I can do the exact same thing, click anywhere on my screen, and then I'm going to type in y equals 3x plus 2. So same equation. And to graph this, though, I can't do the swoop. It doesn't work with the Math Type. So I'm going to move this out of the way because it does have problems if your graphs overlap each other. But when I'm in this Math Type, I can go down here to the bottom, click Add Graph, and now I can just drag the equation onto the coordinate plane and it will graph it for me. Now, you don't have to limit yourself to just one line or one graph per coordinate plane. You can add additional equations to the same graph. So I'm going to type out another, let's say I wanted a quadratic. So y equals x squared, let's say minus 3. All right, so I'm going to drag that onto my graph, and there we go. Now I have both of these equations graphed on the same coordinate plane, and my table will show values for both. So that is Math Type. Draw is very simple. It just means you can draw on here without it trying to recognize what you are writing. You can change your color, thickness of your line, etc. So I can draw, and then text box, you can add boxes of information. And again, it's not trying to recognize what you've typed in there as a mathematical equation. And then another really cool thing it can do is you can insert different things. I'm going to insert a background because I think this is amazing. If you have a PDF that has information in it, you can insert it as a background. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to drag a file. It's off screen for you guys, but I'm going to drag this file across and just drop it here. And it is going to load all of the pages of my PDF. And this is just pulled from problematic.com. It has loaded all of these into individual slides. And now when I share this out, I could have students working on individual problems.